Welcome everyone to Web3 Sales Gym. Today we're talking with an amazing Jenna. Jenna, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. We wanted to chat and sit and chat about your experience at Injective and overall to look at the world of Web3 sales and Web3 BD from a little bit from a different perspective, from the perspective of the person that does uh, hold a vision for strategy for the whole company, and where the deal sizes and the partners and the investor conversations and the client conversations are different to the average day-to-day of most of the viewers in the channel. So by this interview, I want to show them how BD sales can be done on a different level, somewhere high, and anything you want to add before we start the questions?
I just wanted to say thank you for asking me today, and I hope your audience finds my insights useful.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. And the first question would be, uh, right now we talk a lot about new technologies like AI and the blockchains, and a lot of people from the Web2, they start having interest in actually what are you building there? What are you doing there? So how do you think this increased interest from the broader public, from other businesses, from other industries to new technologies like blockchain, like Web3, like AI, how will it impact the business development? How will it impact the lives of people that are doing business in these new technologies?
Well, I would say, I've never held a formal BD role. I worked in TradFi for a number of years and then recently stepped down as Injective Foundation CEO, and now I'm advising a number of projects in the space. I think anyone in the Web3 space needs to have a BD mindset. It's not a department, it's an instinct. Everyone needs to wear the hat to a certain extent, whether you're building ecosystems, managing partnerships, navigating capital raises, you're constantly developing business and relationships. And right now, AI especially is taking a lot of the oxygen from the room. It promises to optimize our lives, streamline, make things more efficient. The exponential rate and scale of the AI developments is crazy. You can't keep up with what's going on in the industry right now. Um, I think the emerging trends promise to allow BD people to more intelligently source leads, to personalize their outreach, to go ahead and stay on top of the constant admin process as you onboard new clients, new partnerships, new collaborations. AI is the big golden promise in a lot of industries right now, especially in blockchain. The two are very much being tied together. I think it's going to be a game changer for non-native English speakers, as an example.
Yeah.
In so many ways that people already anticipate, and in ways that we haven't even thought about.
True. It's gonna break a lot of walls in a certain way. At the same time, it's gonna probably build some other walls in different places where those walls didn't exist.
Yep.
And this is tied down to my next question. In recently, I've seen a new narrative, something like, "Hey, let's focus on building together. Like it doesn't matter what kind of protocol to use. It doesn't matter how many new chains are launching. What matters is what are the use cases, how we're building it, and like um, let's stop running and trying to get the most amount of new developers from other chains, or let's stop competing with each other. Let's start doing more collaboration, specifically in terms of layer 2 foundations." But at the same time, I think the total collaboration level in the industry is something is changing. So what do you think? Like, can you give me an example maybe from your past when you've seen cross-industry collaboration in Web3, maybe cross-niche industry, when different protocols, different applications did something together that benefited the business overall? I see these changes literally on our eyes every day.
Yeah. From my perspective and in my experience, the TradFi world was very segregated and very competitive. And I found the blockchain, crypto, Web3, however you want to label the ecosystem, very friendly. People in general are willing to help and support other builders, even competitors in the space.
Yeah.
almost in the all boats float. We really need the good actors to help other projects so the reputation of the industry improves, so that the quality of the product improves. And I think until very recently, Web3 was a very small crowd. So you knew a lot of the players in the space. And now with Web2 pouring in, I think the collaboration opportunities have changed dramatically. We have all these newcomers trying to navigate the space, trying to solve their pain points with what blockchain offers, right? Reducing the toll booths and speed bumps, opening up new markets for them, providing transparency or privacy where they need it.
Yeah.
And the collaboration opportunities are now within Web3 as well as in Web2. And to me, that's the most exciting part, right? The big unlock comes when you're curious enough to explore all these adjacent fields, understand the collaboration opportunities, and then bridge.
Right now feels like a different time, when a lot of people from Web 2, they come to the space and they're like, oh, wow, it exists. And hundreds of people that were telling them this, hey, we're building this exists, like they finally feel heard because they see the result of them pushing a narrative for a couple of years, let's say with stable coins, and now they see how gears are starting to shift in business, in the public sector, in the private sector, how different teams are adopting new technologies and uncovering them for themselves. Now, what do you think is the best way to stay updated in the space? Because so many things happen.
I mean, it's a fire hose of information now across the board. In crypto, since Trump stepped into office, the whole world is trying to play catch up on the regulatory front or beat him. The Web2 institutional adoption is accelerating. I would say most people struggled with understanding they don't need to consume everything. They just really need to figure out who not to ignore. And personally, I rely on Telegram, friends, quality newsletters, talking to founders. I find a lot of valuable insights often come from real conversations. That could be catching up with a project, learning what a friend is building in the space. I have so many conversations that start down one road and then completely pivot, and we find a way to collaborate, or I find someone I can introduce them to who will be a great partner in their project. Validators, investors who are close to the ground, VCs can give you insight on what they're seeing. So I think regular check-ins with teams, with your friends, with your network, and being curious. I mean, again, if it's something that doesn't necessarily seem like a good fit, like I'm just learning about bin sensor right now and digging in and asking questions and trying to understand what's going on. It's outside my current focus, but I'm meeting new crowds. I'm learning new deployments. It's just, you never know when the next great idea is going to come or your next potential partnership opportunity.
You're like a fisherman, when there is fish everywhere, in every pond, in every lake, in every river, but you just know that there are certain good spots and you just have to throw a fishing rod at those specific spots, and then the good fish is gonna catch itself. Like you're not going for everything, you're going for the insights that matter the most to you, that's gonna impact the way that you work, the way that you maybe invest, the way that you think about life. And you also mentioned talking with different teams and maintaining relationship with them. And this is a very important topic because in order for you to be able to ask somebody what they think is important in their lives, what do they see changing in their industry, you need to have a very good connection. And for us, people in Web3 and crypto, we go to conferences, but at the same time, conference doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you miss the right people. So how do you keep trust? How do you keep this feeling of connectivity? How do you maintain relationships with friends, with people that you have met in the past, that you can ask them, that you can chat with them, that they will always be open to reply to you?
Well, I think crypto blockchain is a small village with a big megaphone, and People remember when you add value, when nobody's watching, or when you have nothing to gain.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I would say the smart Web3 BD people know that your reputation travels faster than your pitch deck,
Mm-hmm.
and you're open and helpful to people without expecting something necessarily in return. People remember that. And I also find if people are really excited about something, they're eager to share that. So I love calling somebody up and saying, "Hey, Nicolai, I don't understand what you're doing. Can you explain it to me?"
Mm-hmm.
Or I just heard about this one project that might be interesting for you. Does that fit with what you're trying to build? Being genuinely helpful, making intros, troubleshooting blockers, offering honest feedback, builds trust with people because they understand you're not just in it for short term, sign a contract. There's no immediate upside. You're trying to work together
Mm-hmm.
and also respecting people's time, um, and trying to figure out how everybody can benefit.
Yeah.
Um, in the space with high noise and low attention spans, I think consistency really stands out, follow through stands out. Again, I think being kind and being generous goes a long way, and you reap what you sow in a lot of cases when you're building relationships, because BD is really about relationship building.
True. I think being genuine and doing the others the same way that you want them to do for you is two of the biggest traits at the same time. Yeah, like following through, doing that follow up, keeping your word, and just these basic traits in general. Like they don't just apply to BD; they apply to everything. And if you're just like being a normal individual and you're doing good job, people will remember it. People will see it. People see because people see the effort, even if something doesn't work out. Anyway, usually you can see the effort. You can understand that people are doing good or bad. Which brings me to my last question. What do you think are the most important traits or skills that a young BD or a starting BD can apply in order for them to level up in their career? So we heard about being genuine, about being true, about following through. What do you think is a core skill or a core quality of a good business development person that will help them in their career?
I think a couple attributes are important. Learn the basic tech stack, understand how wallets, protocols, smart contracts work. You don't need to code, but you need to understand the language.
Yeah.
I'm often surprised how many times I get in a call and somebody's pitching me something and you ask a very shallow question and they can't answer it. So come to a conversation prepared and put some work in to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think the good BD trait is really the art of connecting dots. Who's building what? Who needs what? How can you make these bridges? And how can you figure out how to come up with a win-win
Kind of
solution?
entrepreneurship, right?
Exactly. So, you want to develop a connector mindset.
Yeah.
The space moves fast and there's not really a playbook, there's not a lot of training. So your ability to adapt and stay sharp matters,
Mm-hmm.
but also your ability to deliver. And I always say I love working with friends of friends. People in this space move around a lot. So you don't want to just focus on, I was BD for chain analysis, and then I was BD for Avalanche, and then I was BD for Injective, because people move around so much, people work with each other so much. You really need to stay curious and be useful. I think that's what keeps you in the room. If you're delivering, people want to talk to you as you move throughout your career.
And for the people that are worried that AI is gonna replace them, AI cannot replace the thing that you just described, because that's this connectivity, this mindset of connecting the dots, something that you cannot fake, something that you cannot replicate. You need to have an internal will to do it, and at the same time a basic communicational skill set in order to deliver, in order to have a good conversation with the people. So I think that's the only thing that you can wish for. So if you're the BD, then do the homework. The homework for you from this interview is gonna be check out Jenna, check out what she's been doing, check out the profiles. We'll also drop a couple of links for Injective, I guess. If you're new to the Web3 Sales Gym, this is going to be the place where you can take your axe in terms of skill set in Web3 and then take it to another level. You can sharpen it here with a lot of interviews, a lot of videos like this, a lot of preparation, guides, tips, and if you ever want to chat about BD, you can always message me, and I will also leave the contacts for Jenna, so you can also message her and tell her how amazing she did on this interview. Thank you so much for your time, Jenna. It was amazing to hear your insights.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your efforts to educate and level up the BD crowd in the space.